Yeah, I want to talk about the Country Music Awards. Not really about the Country Music Awards themselves, because I'm not really trying to make this a long video. I wanted to talk about the problem country music is having with the whole pop thing, pop crossover thing. Um, Obviously, last night was the CMAs. I watched maybe about half of it. I DVR'd it. I'm going to watch the rest either today or tomorrow. Um, because I watched it like real late yesterday. I was trying to do some things on YouTube, trying to get some work in, and I didn't really get a chance to see the rest. But from what I saw in it, it was a pretty good show. As usual, I think the CMAs are the best of the award shows, music award shows. I mean, they put on a show. It feels more like a concert than it does an award show, like or boring award show. Because I can't really watch these pop ones anymore, man. Even the Grammy Awards have gotten to that point where it's like, man, I don't even really want to watch this. Usually, the BET Awards used to be pretty good. There's kind of like maybe one or two, three performances that you can respect for, but it really isn't the same. MTV Video Music Awards are really trash. I mean, I couldn't even really sit through this year's, man. I really didn't even really want to watch it. American Music Awards are trash. Billboard's coming up. I'm not even gonna watch that. I'm not even gonna fucking even watch that shit. And the Grammys, which are coming up, I'll probably end up watching that one, but at the same time, because I mean they usually do have some other artists in there, but like lately it's just been so popish, man. And I'm like, man, it's just I'm getting tired of this pop shit, man. But that's what I like about the Country Music Awards. I expect not to see that shit. I'm just gonna see one genre of music that I do respect, and I've become a country music fan over the last 10 years. I used to didn't even want to listen to country music, but I really slowly every year started delving more and more into the country genre. I like a lot of country songs, so this is one of the more events that I get into, and like I said last night, from what I seen in the first hour and a half, like I said, I'm going to watch the rest. I heard the rest of the show was pretty good, so I'm not too worried there. But there's some controversy out of this, and this is what I want to address. There was two crossover performances that happened last night. It was Meghan Trainor with Miranda Lambert, and that's actually the bigger one that's getting the controversy today. Not really Little Big Town and Ariana Grande, because Ariana Grande being on the show really didn't ruin the show. But I thought Meghan Trainor being on there with Miranda Lambert really did, because especially since you open up a show like that, a song that was so wrong in quality, like Miranda Lambert is one of the better musicians they have in the country genre. Um, that's how she wins so many awards and stuff like that. And I love Something Bad with her and Carrie Underwood. I would have rather much had seen them open up with that instead of whatever the hell that was. I don't even know the name of the song, but I just know it was fucking terrible. It was hard to sit through it. Meghan Trainor is fucking terrible. Either way, I just heard of her maybe like a month ago, and I started hearing some of her music, and I was like, man, this is the best thing I could have did. Y'all could have at least bought in like Jessie J or something, man. Bought her in, and bought her in, and delved into that, because this shit was trash. This shit was trash, man. I mean, this was not a good way to start the show. And you saw one thing that I noticed in the crowd. I was looking in the crowd, and there was a lot of displeased faces. Like really, really. Casey Musgraves, who's their young up and coming star, really has done everything she can do as a young artist, bringing that real country sound back. She doesn't do any of that pop shit. It's usually that old time. I'm talking like 50s and 60s, because when I started getting into country music, I started doing a lot of research. I started listening to some really old country songs from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and stuff like that, to really get myself really, a little bit more knowledgeable in the country area. Because it's one of the genres it's one of the last genres I really touched on, because I grew up on rap, hip hop, Then I delved into rock. Then I started delving into more older music. I forgot about R&B. I grew up on R&B too. Then I started, getting into other stuff. I think everyone has a place with pop. It's a crossover genre. But today's pop is just so garbage, man. I mean, pop usually isn't a high quality genre. It's usually made for like teens and young adults and stuff like that, or kids or whatever. But yeah, today's pop is just fucking retarded, man. I can't. That's how I said these award shows. I'm not watching the fucking Billboard Awards because I don't want to see any of that fucking shit. The only one that I might even watch, and I might just watch it on YouTube the next day, is fucking Lord. I might watch her fucking performance. That's about it, man. Taylor Swift. I never liked Taylor Swift. She could stay out of the country genre for all I care. And she never really was country to me anyway. She was always like a hybrid country. Like, she was more pop. Always been more pop. And so I'm like, the direction she went in, I'm like, stay in that fucking direction, bitch. I don't even want you coming back to country. Don't ever come back to country, man, because you're a disgrace on Reba's grave. Reba ain't dead, but like, just a disgrace to Reba, the queen of country, man. I mean, just stay your ass out, man. I mean, so it's really some divide because, like I said, I was looking in the faces in the crowd and they weren't too pleased. I mean, some of them liked it, some of them kind of, jumped around or whatever, kind of liked it. I think some of them were probably fans of Miranda Lambert or whatever, but I don't want, the thing that I don't want, even though I'm killing Meghan Trainor over this, I don't want her to get killed over this by the country people. I mean, she seems like a nice girl. I don't want her to get killed over it, but the thing is, man, that was just a really bad crossover. Then there's been some problems with Florida Georgia Line crossing over as well with rap, which I don't know why people had too much of a problem with that. They kind of keep with the country sound for the most part. But a lot of people really, aren't digging Florida, like true country people aren't digging Florida Georgia Line either. Little Big Town up until this point probably getting criticized just for being with Ariana Grande. But I don't hear too much of strong stuff with Ariana as I did with Meghan Trainor crossover yesterday. But like I said, the country genre, it doesn't look good in the future because there's so many of these fucking... unless we could get someone like a Casey Musgraves, a Hunter Hayes, a Lucy Hale, or something like that really step the game, or Jason Aldean, these guys get themselves, Van Perry, all of these great country artists, they're going to have to kind of overshadow these pop artists trying to come into the country scene. Because what I'm seeing right now is, I'm seeing a lot of pop artists cross over. In a way, it's kind of good because it's kind of like, man, you get some, country is one of those genres that a lot of people stay away from. And this gives us some extra exposure to other country artists, other country music, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of gives a little bit of more, maybe they watched the whole show. Maybe someone who was looking for the Ariana Grande or Meghan Trainor ended up watching the whole show, and got exposed to country music, man. Cause like I said, I was one of those people that didn't never think I'd be into country music, but I got into it one day, man. One of the songs I listened to, I think it was a Kenny Rogers song from back in the 80s, man. And I just started going from there. Crystal Gale, Don't Make My Brown Eyes Blue. I was listening to a lot of old shit like that. And it was, really pretty good, cause usually the country genre, it's got this stigma of it being like a white people genre, I mean? Like, black people, obviously you can tell by my voice I'm black. And usually, like, unless you're from down south, you're not really getting into, if you're black, you're not really getting into country music, especially if you live anywhere up north or out west. But I've always thought that was a bad stereotype. Like I said, it helps a little bit to bring that pop stuff into the country genre because, I mean, Taylor Swift, for the most part, she did a lot for the genre. I mean, you gotta admit that. But at the same time, she's really what got the ball rolling on this pop shit crossing over. And like I said, I wouldn't have a problem with the pop shit if the pop shit wasn't so fucking terrible. The song Miranda Lambert and Meghan Trainor did was so fucking terrible. That was the problem. The problem was, that's why I don't really have a problem with Ariana, is because Ariana's Bang Bang song isn't really a bad pop song. That Meghan Trainor, Miranda Lambert song is so fucking bad, man. You listen to something bad with Miranda Lambert and Carrie Underwood, and then compare it to this shit. It's like night and day. It's night and fucking day, man. It is not the same. Um, so I just want people to really realize that it is not the fucking same. It is so much more different between those two, and and I don't know. Uh, like I said, I don't really want to, sit up here and kill, um, these people for coming out with this shit, But like I said, at the same time, it is something that's really kind of disturbing a little bit, because like I said, the genre is just it's sort of in a bad place right now. Because there's a lot of division. I feel like it's hurting things overall because of the division, and I don't know. I don't know about the future. The future doesn't look too good unless, like I said, there needs to be a change up within the genre to see if we can get some things going here. Um, let's see. Let's see what happens. I mean, it's definitely something. Um, it's definitely something that could definitely be looked at to most people and be looked at as a negative. But like I said, I mean, the country music genre is getting a little bit stronger, man. I know there's a lot of new people are starting to listen to it every year now that were listening to it before. And you got to worry, like I said, if it gets too big, then the heart and soul of the country genre, because, like I said, in the music industry right now, it is total shit. But there's one good thing out of that fucking genre. I mean, the fucking music industry, and it's always been country music. Country music is still sort of true to the way it was in the decades before. It's so much different with music now where you don't even hear that sound from like the 70s and 80s into these new songs or whatever, 90s or whatever. You hear the same sort of tone with country songs, and I love that about country. It's such high quality music, and it's the one genre that was left that was pure. And I'm starting to fear that country is going to go the way of rap and hip hop, because as a rap and hip hop guy, after about 2003, 2004, 2005, somewhere around there, that genre got killed. I mean, if you want to listen to some good rap, there's a few good artists like Kendrick Lamar, whatever, that's in the mainstream, but most of the shit is underground now. If you want to listen to something good that's coming out that's new, it's usually underground or really on a low market level. But you're never gonna hear anything in the mainstream that's really going to be good. R&B that's kind of taking a toll too, taking a tumble. Just so many of those good rock has actually been affected as well. That's why I said country was really that last big genre that was really true to his word, man. And man, I can't believe it. I'm seeing a change right now, and I'm really worried about country music in the future. Hopefully, these newer artists, these newer young and up and coming artists, could get this thing stable, because the pop artists, they're coming in, man. They are coming in. They're coming in from left to right. We're going to see more of them. I'm pretty sure you're going to see Bieber or Nicki Minaj or something like that in there one day. Oh my God! I mean, it's gonna get terrible. It's gonna get terrible, man. It's gonna get terrible. But that's all I gotta say for now. Thank you for listening. Hopefully the soul of country music stays, because oh man, this is this. I feel it. It feels like 2001 right now in the rap game. That's what it feels like right now. It feels like that tide is turning. It feels like it, man. I'm hoping not, but that'll do it for now. Thanks, guys.